Libra love, unexpected riches are coming. Between November 7th and 10th, something bigger than coincidence is about to break through your life, something so precise, so divinely timed, it will leave everyone around you stunned. And yes, it's meant for you. If you've been feeling restless lately, like something inside you has been quietly shifting, or as if a mysterious pressure is building in the background of your spirit, trust that feeling. That inner tremble isn't fear. It's resonance. Your soul is responding to a truth that is already in motion. You didn't just stumble onto this video. You were guided here. Called here. This isn't just another horoscope reading. This is a sacred appointment, an energetic invitation written across the stars, signed by the alignment of Venus, Jupiter, and Uranus, and addressed directly to your Libra spirit. Something within you has known this moment was coming, even if you couldn't name it yet. Right now, the universe is opening a portal, a very rare one that links divine timing with personal readiness. And Libra, you're not just invited into this shift. You are the reason it's happening. When Venus, your ruling planet, enters sacred conversation with Uranus and Jupiter, it signals more than luck. It activates breakthrough. This is a cosmic unlocking of everything that once felt just out of reach. A moment when financial growth, inner peace, and soul-aligned abundance finally begin to meet on the same timeline. This is not a wish. This is a return. A return of energy. Of prayers. Of intentions that were planted in faith. And you are about to receive it. Let me pause here for just a moment to say something from the heart. Thank you for being here. Every like, every comment, every time you share these messages, every moment you spend with Zodiac Whisper Tarot means more than you know. Your presence is what fuels this space, what keeps this sacred work alive. You are not just a viewer. You are part of a spiritual family that believes in divine timing, self-mastery, and the truth that we are all here to rise together. And trust me, Libra, this message is one you'll want to stay with until the very end. Because what the universe is revealing right now is not just insightful, it's life-altering. It's a direct download meant to shift how you relate to value, security, and the legacy you're building for generations to come. So take a breath. Let your shoulders relax. And ask yourself this: what brought you here today of all days? Was it a repeating number? A dream you couldn't shake? A sudden wave of curiosity? Whatever it was, it's part of the confirmation. If you've been seeing signs like 666, 444, or 11:11 Dawn T, brush it off. Those are sacred codes. They're not random. They're proof that you're in sync with something bigger than yourself. Let's make it official. If this message already speaks to something deep inside you, drop it in the comments. I feel the shift. I claim this abundance. Let that sentence be your signature, your energetic agreement with the blessing that's approaching. Now, are you ready to walk through this portal with me? Because in just a moment, we're going to dive deep into the exact astrological alignments, tarot revelations, and soul messages that are coming through just for you, Libra, the divine anchor of balance, the unexpected heir to spiritual and material wealth. Stay with me, because this is the moment everything begins to change. Sometimes, the softest inner tremble is the clearest message of all. And Libra, that gentle but persistent stir within you, that sense that something unseen is gathering, just beyond the veil, is not random. It's not stress. It's not your imagination playing games with your hopes. It's your inner compass quietly aligning with the external shift already in motion. When balance is your soul's native language, you often sense the imbalance in the air before anything ever tips on the surface. That's not anxiety, it's your sacred sensitivity, responding to an invitation before it's even spoken. Over the past few days or even weeks, you may have noticed yourself feeling more alert without knowing why. Your thoughts wander toward questions you hadn't asked in a long time. Am I where I'm meant to be? Why does it feel like something is about to happen? And even more curiously, you may feel that familiar tug between wanting to hold it all together for everyone else and this rising, sacred need to be held yourself. This isn't just an emotional cycle, it's energetic alignment. The cosmic map is shifting, Libra. And when it shifts, those who were born under the sign of the scale feel it deep in their bodies. Like a tuning fork for truth, your soul picks up vibrations before others even know their sound. So if lately you felt emotionally charged, deeply introspective, or quietly restless, I want you to understand, it means you are right on time. You see, those who carry the blueprint of equilibrium are often the first to feel when the world prepares to tip into a new cycle. Libra, you are not broken or lost, you are being calibrated for what's next. There is a divine reason why the most grounded people often carry the heaviest winds of transition in their chest. Because you, more than most, were built to recognize subtle openings. And right now, the energy between November 7th and 10th is forming such an opening. It's not loud, but it's powerful. It is a cosmic turning point, one that favors the steady, the ready, and the clear-hearted. We often think opportunity looks like a wide-open door with flashing lights. But the truth is, some of the most life-changing opportunities arrive like whispers. They come as a phone call you almost didn't answer. A job listing you found by accident. A conversation you overheard that shifted your perspective. They come in stillness and ask, are you ready to stop carrying what doesn't belong to you anymore? And isn't that the lessons so many of us need in this busy, demanding life? When the world tells us to do more, be more, give more, what if the breakthrough comes not from trying harder, but from listening deeper? This is where I gently offer you the wisdom that's been whispered across generations. Divine timing doesn't rush, and it doesn't forget. What was meant for you has not passed you by. In fact, it has been waiting for the exact version of you that you've become, one that has grown quietly in the background while the world wasn't watching. Sometimes, the miracles we need the most are not the ones we ask for in panic, but the ones we've prepared to receive in faith. Like the farmer who plants in silence and harvests in praise, your steady efforts, even the unseen ones, are about to bear fruit. Not because you forced anything, but because you trusted the deeper rhythm, even when the surface looked still. So if you've been quietly showing up, doing the inner work, keeping your heart open even when your hands were tired, this is your confirmation. You didn't imagine it. This is the moment you've been sensing. Stay present, stay grounded, and let the shift reveal itself. Because what's coming isn't chaos, it's alignment. And it's already on its way to meet you. Not every cosmic alignment speaks as loudly as this one. And Libra, as someone whose entire essence revolves around harmony, grace, and equilibrium, you are uniquely attuned to the subtleties of this rare convergence between Venus, Jupiter, and Uranus. These three planets, your ruling Venus, expansive Jupiter, and disruptive Uranus, are not simply passing by each other in the sky. They are entering sacred conversation, a once-in-a-decade vibrational exchange that is designed not to test you, but to release you. This isn't just astrology. It's alignment with purpose. Venus speaks the language of worth, your worth. She governs your relationship to money, love, art, beauty, and most of all, how you value yourself when no one else is watching. Jupiter enters the scene not just as a bringer of luck, but as an amplifier of everything you touch. If your heart is clear, Jupiter expands your opportunities. If your vision is clouded by doubt, Jupiter will magnify that too. And then there's Uranus, the wild card. The planet that doesn't knock before entering. Uranus represents the kind of change that feels inconvenient in the moment but liberating in the long run. He shatters false stability to make room for real freedom. When all three converge in the sky, especially in regions of your birth chart connected to money, legacy, and value, it creates something beyond logic. It activates a window of breakthrough that doesn't follow normal timelines. You might find yourself suddenly contacted by someone you haven't spoken to in years with an opportunity that seems to fall from the sky. Or you may receive compensation, recognition, or return on an effort you quietly gave long ago, without expecting anything in return. These are not coincidences. They are energetic responses to your past seeds of trust and integrity. In moments like this, it's important to remember, what the world calls luck is often just divine timing finally meeting consistent character. Perhaps you've held the line quietly for years, being fair when no one noticed, showing up when it wasn't convenient, staying kind when you had every reason not to. The universe does not forget this kind of effort. And when Venus speaks to Jupiter and Uranus, it becomes a cosmic reminder that what you give in love, you receive in legacy. There's something deeply human about finally being seen. In your career. In your family. In your finances. In the mirror. This planetary alignment is offering that moment to you not just as a reward, but as a reintroduction. You're not who you were, Libra. You're wiser, stronger, more grounded in your truth than ever before. That is why the blessing fits now. It couldn't have arrived earlier, not because you weren't deserving, but because now you can receive it with the maturity to multiply it, not just spend it. And here's where I invite you to hold space for this truth. Sometimes miracles don't show up in flashes of light, but in quiet confirmations. A small debt paid back. An email that opens a door. A peaceful night's sleep after months of inner unrest. You don't need to chase fireworks to know something is changing. You only need to stay open, still, and honest with yourself about what you're truly ready to hold. In my experience walking with seekers across many paths, I've seen over and over again that the most enduring blessings come not to those who demand them but to those who prepare in faith. Like those small moments of clarity during prayer, or the soft assurance you feel when you pause long enough to breathe and remember you're not alone. This transit is not chaos. It's choreography. It's an invitation to live in rhythm with something higher than urgency. So if life feels like it's tilting in a new direction, let it. If something is arriving faster than you feel ready for, meet it with grace. You're not behind. You're aligned. This moment was made with you in mind. There's something quietly breathtaking about the moment when truth finally meets timing. And for you, Libra, that moment is now. The presence of the Tower, 9 of Pentacles, and Justice in this reading is not just symbolic, it's a message layered with depth, precision, and a kind of spiritual clarity that only arrives when you're truly ready to receive it. These cards weren't drawn by chance. They were drawn because you've reached a threshold in your journey, one that can no longer be postponed or sidestepped. Let's begin with the Tower. This is often the most misunderstood card in the tarot, because we, as human beings, tend to resist the collapse of what we've built even when it no longer serves us. But the truth is, the Tower is not here to destroy your life. It's here to deliver you from the structures you outgrew, from the patterns that protected you once, but now restrict your potential, from stories you told yourself because you had to survive. When the Tower appears, something breaks open. But what breaks is only what can no longer hold the weight of your evolution. That sudden change, yes, it may come through a surprise phone call, an unexpected financial shift, a loss or redirection, but beneath the surface, it's not chaos. It's order being restored in a way that matches the person you've become. Then we move to the Nine of Pentacles, the card that speaks the language of self-worth, quiet success, and dignified independence. This is the moment where you are no longer striving to prove your value to anyone, not even to yourself. You are simply standing in it. You've built something quietly resilient over time, perhaps without applause, without recognition. But now, that inner richness is beginning to reflect outward. The Nine of Pentacles doesn't arrive to announce sudden fame or fast money. It arrives when your inner garden is finally ready to bloom in the physical world. The effort you made behind closed doors, healing, learning, endurance, about to show up in the form of material gain, emotional fulfillment, and above all, peace. And then there's justice. If there were ever a card that felt like it was written just for Libra, this would be it. Justice doesn't rush. It doesn't react. It balances. And when it appears after the Tower and Nine of Pentacles, it's a clear sign that whatever was delayed, whatever was denied, whatever was done in silence, it's coming back. Not as punishment, not as karma to fear, but as correction. As recalibration. As rightful restoration. Justice whispers what many forget: timing is not denial. Sometimes the scales are held by unseen hands that wait for just the right moment to level what was uneven. You may find this phase of your life strangely emotional, not because something is wrong, but because something finally feels right. Like walking into a room you didn't realize you missed until you were standing in it. Like remembering a version of yourself you'd quietly buried just to make others more comfortable. And now that version of you is rising, not to fight, not to prove, but to live freely and fully. For those who resonate with spiritual reflections from everyday life, think of this like those rare moments when you're rushing through your day, burdened by deadlines, only to be stopped by something simply: child's laugh, a kind stranger, a bit of unexpected good news. And suddenly, something shifts inside. You remember that grace is never loud, but it is always on time. That kind of breakthrough is what this alignment offers you now. It's not about achieving more, it's about finally allowing what has always been yours to land. You don't need to run after it. You need only to remain open, calm, and grounded, because the correction is already in motion. And what's coming your way is not just fair, it's yours. Sometimes, the signs appear before the answers. And Libra, if you've been noticing repeating numbers like 666, 444, or 1111, catching them in the corner of your eye on receipts, clocks, license plates, or even waking up at those times without knowing why, please understand this: these are not just coincidences. They are confirmations. Quiet affirmations from the energetic field around you that something meaningful is moving in your direction. Numbers, in their purest form, carry vibration. In numerology, they function like frequencies, each with its own rhythm, message, and sacred tone. And when one of these sequences appears over and over, it's less about prediction and more about preparation. Seeing 666, for example, isn't what pop culture has led us to fear. In truth, it's a powerful call to grounding. It often appears when you're standing right on the edge of material alignment, where your inner values and your outer experience are about to match. It reminds you to balance spiritual trust with practical action. Meanwhile, 444 is often seen as a signature of protection and divine order. It shows up when your foundations, emotional, financial, or relational, are being restored, brick by brick. And 1111? That one's a doorway. A message that you're standing at the edge of new opportunity, and your awareness is the key to unlocking it. Beyond numbers, some of you may have felt a deep and sudden urge to clean, declutter, or rearrange your living space. Maybe it started with one drawer and became an entire room. Maybe you found yourself letting go of things that no longer feel like they represent who you are. This isn't just spring cleaning. It's energetic alignment. Environments hold memory. Objects carry stories. And your body, often before your mind, recognizes when it's time to release the old to make room for something new. Shifting your physical space is one of the fastest ways to signal to your energetic field that you are open to receiving a new cycle of abundance. And then there are the dreams. Maybe you've dreamed of houses, locked doors, bank vaults, or luminous rooms you've never seen before. Maybe you saw gold, keys, or windows opening into vast landscapes. These are not just dreams theory codes. Your subconscious is beginning to speak the language of worth. In sleep, when the conscious mind quiets, the inner compass takes over. It guides you with symbols, archetypes, and sometimes even glimpses of what's coming. When the imagery centers around wealth, security, or hidden spaces opening, it often points to shifts in your real-world relationship with value and financial flow. I've worked with many people who, just before a major breakthrough, whether it was a job opportunity, an unexpected inheritance, or a long-awaited payout, experienced these exact signs. Not because they were lucky, but because they were listening. They were aligning their awareness with what was already in motion. Think of these signs as the echo before the arrival, the preview before the full unveiling. In the same way that we sometimes receive a sense of reassurance in the smallest, quietest moments of daily life, a stranger's unexpected kindness, a peaceful pause in the middle of a hectic day, these signs are gentle nudges that remind you, you're not late, you're not off path, and you're not doing this alone. This is the moment to pay attention. To trust the messages that don't come in words, but in rhythm, feeling, and repeated patterns. So if these signs have found you lately, consider this your invitation to stay curious. Reflect. Ask questions. And most importantly, respond. You don't have to know the full picture. But honoring the signs by writing them down, speaking them aloud, or simply noticing them with intention can be the very act that opens the next door. Something is calling your name, Libra. Let yourself answer. Libra, when energy is building this strongly in your field, when numbers repeat, when your intuition whispers louder than logic, when even your dreams begin to resemble blueprints, you don't need more signs. You need a way to respond. Energy meets us halfway when we choose to meet it with intention. That's what this next part is about. It's not theory. It's not mystery. It's a practice. A conscious agreement between your inner readiness and the opportunities that are already moving toward you. Morning affirmations, while seemingly simple, are far more than words. They are recalibrations. Each time you speak, I am the anchor of balance. I am worthy of sudden wealth and lasting peace. You are giving your nervous system permission to relax into the frequency of abundance instead of reacting to fear or lack. You're setting the tone not just for your day, but for how you relate to possibility. And Libra, with your natural sensitivity to harmony and beauty, this daily reset can shift how you move through the world, especially when spoken with your hand over your heart and your feet grounded to the earth, even if just for 2 minutes. Color, too, is a frequency. Emerald green isn't just a pretty tone, it holds the vibration of healing, renewal, and growth. When you wear it, surround yourself with it, or simply visualize it during meditation, you are aligning with nature's rhythm of abundance. Rose pink, with its softness, calls in the compassion and self-worth needed to receive, not just pursue blessings. These aren't aesthetic choices, they are energetic cues. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to change your whole wardrobe. A notebook, a scarf, a bracelet, even the wallpaper on your phone can carry these tones and gently redirect your subconscious toward peace and prosperity. Sound healing has always been a bridge between seen and unseen worlds. 528 Hz is known as the miracle tone, not because it fixes anything, but because it brings you back into a place where miracles feel possible. When you listen to this frequency before bed, especially while envisioning yourself opening a golden vault or stepping into a room filled with radiant light, you begin to teach your inner world what it feels like to be safe receiving. Over time, your body no longer reacts to wealth as a shock, but as a homecoming. And if you find yourself hesitating at the idea of abundancy, as many Libras do, especially those who have always given more than they've received, I offer you this quiet ritual. Write down 3 fears you hold about money. Don't judge them. Just be honest. Maybe you fear losing control. Maybe you associate wealth with pressure or responsibility. Maybe part of you wonders if you're allowed to have more when others are struggling. Then, fold that paper, take a deep breath, and place it in a safe space: your Bible, a journal, a drawer that feels sacred to you. This is your gesture of release. And if prayer is part of your life, take a moment to whisper a simple request: lift what I can no longer carry. Even without religious context, this act becomes a healing gesture, a symbolic turning over of fear in exchange for faith. Remember, true abundance doesn't just flow into open hands. It flows into open hearts. So if you feel a shift happening already, if you're ready to stop rehearsing lack and begin receiving peace, I invite you to speak it aloud in the comments. 666 I claim divine balance and unexpected wealth. This is more than a comment. It's a contract between your consciousness and the field that surrounds you. You're not asking for a miracle to prove something. You're inviting a miracle because you've become the version of yourself who's ready to hold it. In this way, practice becomes more than routine, it becomes sacred. Every word, every color, every sound is a step toward making the unseen, seen. And Libra, the universe has already made its move. Now, it's your turn. Libra love, if there's one thing I hope you carry with you after this message, it's this: you are no longer waiting for a miracle, you are the miracle in motion. Everything you've walked through, everything you've endured, everything you gave when no one was watching, it wasn't in vain. You've been planting seeds of light, of strength, of balance in soil that didn't always promise immediate reward. And yet, here you are. Still standing. Still believing. Still choosing to show up, even on the days when it felt easier to disappear. There's something profoundly sacred about someone who continues to give with grace, even when they feel empty. Someone who chooses faith over fear, clarity over noise, and love over control. Libra, you've done all of that and more. And now, the universe is echoing back what you've whispered in quiet moments of surrender. I'm ready for more. But let me remind you, what's coming isn't just about wealth and numbers. It's wealth and meaning. Wealth and freedom. Wealth in finally knowing, deep in your bones, that you are safe to receive without guilt, to lead without fear, to rise without apology. This is about reclaiming your space not only in the material world, but in the energetic one as well. You are not simply about to attract abundance, you are already becoming the kind of person who can hold it with peace, purpose, and generosity. So take a moment. Breathe into that knowing. Imagine what your life would look like if you truly believed that everything we spoke about today is already happening. How would you speak to yourself? How would you move through your day? How would you handle the unexpected knock at your door, the opportunity, the answer, the open gate? You see, transformation doesn't begin when things around you shift. It begins when something inside you says, I am worthy of more, and I am ready to claim it. That's what this video has been about, not just a forecast, but a gentle activation. A remembrance of the power you carry. The vision you protect. The peace you deserve. And now, I gently invite you to put this into practice. Choose one small ritual. Maybe it's writing your affirmation on a sticky note and placing it on your mirror. Maybe it's wearing a color that reminds you of your own softness and strength. Maybe it's simply taking 5 quiet minutes to breathe and remember who you really are. You don't have to do everything at once. You just have to begin. Before we part ways today, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your presence. For the way you listen with your heart. For every like, every comment, every time you share this space with me. Your energy is what fuels this channel. You are the reason Zodiac Whisper Tarot exists. And I mean it when I say, I feel your presence, even through the screen. So tell me in the comments what part of today's message stirred something in you. What are you releasing? What are you ready to receive? I invite you to write one sentence, one number, one symbol that feels like an anchor for your next chapter. And if this message touched something sacred inside you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share it with someone you love, because miracles multiply when we move through them together. Live, Libra, like the miracle has already happened. Because in many ways, it already has. And you are the soul chosen to carry it forward.